What's up YouTube, eugenius here, hope you're all well. I'm gonna do a Perfumes I Wear video, which is just basically a rundown of my fragrance rotation for the week. And I haven't done one of these for a long while. And the reason I've decided to do one this week is because I enjoy making these videos and I had a really interesting week and I've got some things that I really want to share with you. Specifically this first one, which is kind of a new release. And we're right now currently in what I consider in the designer world in the Windex era, where everything smells really fresh, clean, and similar to each other, and it's all ultimately rather boring and nondescript. If there's anyone that can get us out of this Windex era, I truly believe it is Tom Ford. And even with his releases with the goofy names of fucking Fabulous, Rose Prick, something Lost Cherry, is it Lost Cherry? Cherry something or other. All can be forgiven with the release of Beau de Jour. This is a repackaged, rebranded Beau de Jour from the private blend. This is now the signature line, and I can say this is super fantastic and one of my favorite releases since Chanel's 1957 or Guerlain's Queer Intense or Frederic Malle The Moon. I'm just as excited for this as any one of those. And this is a true 70s barbershop fougere. Aromatic spices, lavender, coumarin in the base, and it's definitely got that high quality Barbasol shaving foam, shaving cream vibe to it. So it's very green, quite leathery, opens up with the aromatic spices, thyme, basil, and that really pungent animalic rosemary. If you ever smelt rosemary oil on its own, my mom's got this huge rosemary plant at her house, and every time I go over there, I just kind of brush it and give it a sniff, and it's always a delight. I like rosemary a lot, and if you ever smelled rosemary essential oil, it can get a little bit animalic and pungent. And I get a lot of that running through Beau de Jour, is that rosemary spice. It's leathery. It's got this dry lavender, leathery vibe to it. Herbal, a lot of vanilla and coumarin in the base. Just a gorgeous retro barbershop fougere. Green, spicy, aromatic. Classic masculine 70s. It kind of reminds me of, I see a lot of comparisons to Rive Gauche. I own Rive Gauche, the original. Yeah, they're both barbershop fougeres, but I think this to me reminds me a little bit more of Caron's Third Man for some reason. Caron's Third Man, maybe Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, so it's kind of in that essence more than it is Rive Gauche for me, but excellent release. Thank you, Tom Ford, for this. I can definitely, all can be forgiven for the goofy names with the release of Beau de Jour. I'm really excited about this, and I hope Ford's definitely going to start some trends with this, because I'm really tired of what's being on the market these days. Next we got here, this is 31 Rue Cambon, and I did review this. The Chypre, that's not really a Chypre. I don't get any oak moss from this. Very limited patchouli, but this is a very floral, woody musk. This is one of my first Les Exclusives that I purchased. And I can't remember if this was the first or Cuir de Russie was, but it was very early on in my Les Exclusives love, let's say. And since I've kind of fell in and out of love from a lot of different perfumes, but Les Exclusives have always been a favorite of mine. So very floral. It's got that night blooming jasmine, kind of skanky jasmine. At least I've been told. Somebody told me I smell like a musky old lady. Iris in the heart, dry, powdery, fungal, mushroomy, bready iris, kind of an amberish color. Really nice peppery opening. Still not a chypre for me, but doesn't matter. I love it just as well. It could have been called a gourmand. I don't really care. Makes no difference. All right, next we have a leather, and this is Cuir d'Ange. I haven't talked about this on my channel in a long time. Cuir d'Ange, a floral leather. I love my florals. Who says a man can't wear florals? Oh, very spicy, very typical of Jean-Claude Elena. And I have to say, since I haven't compared them side by side, but after wearing this, I can see now finally what they call leather in Rose and Cuir, and it's that ISO butanol synthetic, and I pick it up in here, and now I can reference it to Rose and Cuir, but this is still far more birch tarry, spicy, leathery to me than Rose and Cuir. Very nice earthy elements. I do pick up that powdery, rooty orris. More orris than it is iris, but almost reminds me of like russet potatoes. If you've picked up a sack of russet, those brown potatoes, that it's still got that, it's almost got this herbalness to it. Like when you pick up the bag, you can smell it, but it's also got this feeling of balminess to it. I get that, but it's just so spicy, you know, cumin, cardamom. They're not in the notes, but I definitely pick up that vibe. Salty leather. Supposed to smell like the inside of a Hermès bag. Brand new pair of leather shoes. I see that. I get that. One of my favorite leathers. I'd say probably second after Cuir de Russie. So there's Cuir d'Ange. Always love wearing this. Next we've got Antaeus, Chanel's True Chypre, and this is a beast. And I have to say, in a lot of Chanel's, I get that waxy pasteliness, more so from the women's, but I definitely picked this up in here. And this is a rose leather. It's a leathery chypre, but I do definitely get the rose. I get the animalics. There's that beeswax, kind of a beeswax honey accord that comes to life on the skin. A lot of spice in the opening. It's green and black and dark red. Lots of colors, lots of earthiness, but it's got a lot of contrast is what I love. Just an old school classic, but with that waxy pastelness, it almost makes it modern for me, because I'm still getting that in a lot of the Chanel's, is that traditional waxy, I don't know what you would label that waxy pastelness, but I find it again here in this modern fougere, which isn't so barbershop-y. God, I love this one so much as well. I think this is my most worn Les Exclusive since I've picked this up. And this is spicy. Again, another, you know, it's got that rosemary. It's not as strong as it is in Beau de Jour, but dry lavender, rose and geranium replaces that clove, that spicy leathery clove that is in most fougères. Vanilla coumarin in the base. The opening's got a large dose of lemon, and again, that Chanel waxy, cosmetic-y, that pastelness, that Chanelade, which almost is combined by, you know, rose, iris, ylang, and sandalwood. Although you can't really pick up any of those notes, they're here. You know, I can pick them out in here. And another one that kind of reminds me of that number 5 Bois de Zile, number 22. It's got that accord, very slightly, but it's there. I can pick it up. Very smooth, very waxy, very pastel-y. It's just creamy, warm, rich. I love that accord. I'm obsessed with it, you know. I don't know what I would call it, but we definitely need to label that accord. And here's the last one. This is another lavender-centric perfume, sadly discontinued. I don't know what the hell's going on at Dior. This is Eau Noir. For a second, I thought this was Demaché while I was wearing it. And I had to look it up. I was like, it's not Demaché. You know, if it was Demaché, I could take back all the nasty things I've said about him. But it's not. I looked it up, and it was Courdian. And I knew it was Francis Courdian who perfumed this. I just couldn't remember. But yeah, no surprise that it's not a Demaché. Look at the color of that fragrance, that dark green. But very, very spicy, very resinous, very herbal. You got that curry note, lavender, dry, smoky, resinous lavender, a lot of vanilla in the base, some coffee, incense, smoke, extremely smoky. But just a gorgeous, like absolutely stunning perfume. I can't believe what's going on at Dior. It's almost turned into a joke. They're releasing Aqua Allegorias now in the Dior private blend at private blend prices, unfortunately, but it's an end of a great perfume house. Anyway, there's been my sense of the week. Let me know what you guys have worn. Let me know what you think of my scents that I've been wearing, or if you have any questions or comments. But anyway, good to talk, and we'll see y'all again soon.